Well, YouTubers, here's something I've never shown anybody on YouTube before. It's my motocross. I don't know if you can see it. As a lot of you who follow me know, my dad passed away, well, 12 months next week really, and it's quite a sad time. That's why I haven't been uploading too much lately. And I thought I'd try to turn something into a positive rather than a negative next week. So this bike, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, is a 2002 CR 450 4-stroke. It was one of the first out. And I don't suppose you realise I was a absolute fanatical motocrosser before this, before I started to upload. And that year, 2002, I actually retired from motocross because of my eyesight problem. I just could not ride anymore. It was, can't really explain it. There was like a kind of a jello in my eyes when I was riding, and I was totally devastated because it was something I'd done from such a young age. Anyway, me and my father went racing all around the country. Oh God, for a good 10 years, 15 years. Every other weekend with the AMCA, and I got to the 250 experts class, and I was, I suppose, in the top half of the expert class. Never quite got up above there though, into the top 5. But the year I gave up, I was in an AMCA 250 qualifier for the championship, and I came in 11th. And if I'd come in the top 10, I would have qualified for it. So sadly, between everything, my eyesight and everything, I packed it in. And this bike has stood here for 16 years. And I'm not joking, this bike has not been started for 16 years. It's been in this shed waiting for me. And like I said, as you know from my channel, I've had a couple of eye operations last year and the year before. So I thought I would try and ride again, see if I can ride again. Because it's a big thing for me. It was such a passion of mine. I woke up in the morning, went to sleep at night just thinking about motocross. It was such a passion of mine. And like I said, it took me a long time to get up to the expert class. But sadly, because of my eyesight, and I just could not ride anymore. It was like somebody cutting your legs off. So I put it in here. I haven't watched a motocross race. I never sat on it. I could not do it. It was too much of a problem. So as I said, my father's death was 12 months ago, next week. So I'm going to start this up and I'm going to try and ride again, see if I can ride with it. Because at the moment, since these operations, I don't need to wear glasses. And I do feel like I can ride again. I haven't tried it, but we'll see. She's a beautiful bike. This bike, even though it's from 2002, is less than 12 months old. It's new. I had a CR 250 before this, and I part-exed it for this bike, which was about 3 months old when I bought it. Basically brand new. Beautiful bike it is, fair play. So before I start it, I'm going to change all the oils and take it down the other shed and change all the oils and go through it all before I start it. And we'll see if you're interested in seeing me start it after 16 years. It's been waiting patiently here for me. So there you are. I just thought you might like to see it. And I maybe will do a series of me learning to ride again and going up on the hills and the tracks I used to go. So over and out. Well, tubers, if you can see there, I've took out this bottom bolt from there. That's where you drain the oil out of the engine oil out of this 450 Honda. This is a 2002 model. well, late. It's late 2002, early 2003, if I remember correctly. So this side here is the engine oil, and the other side is the clutch oil. So don't put clutch oil in this side, because you'll seize the engine. You need proper Honda 4-stroke racing engine oil in this side. And I'm going to change the oil in the far side as well, in the clutch side. So when we come to start up, I'll put this on vid. I've also took I think I showed you this in the last vid, emptied all the old fuel out of the tank, took the bottom off the carburettor and released the fuel out of there, took the main jet out and released the fuel out of there. Right, tubes, I've just got that filter out of there, which you can see. Make sure, see at the back there, a little spring goes in there, this goes on the end here. You just got to make sure that that goes in correctly when you put the other filter in. Right, that is the filter element all put together, look. And if you see, it's got holes in it. Now these holes here have to correspond with the little small holes there, the ports there. So don't put that in the wrong way if you can help it. This one without the hole, I think, is the one where the oil comes in from that hole there. So there's an O-ring fit on here. So you don't need to have a paper seal there, but make sure everything is on correctly. And I haven't got no grease on that, so hopefully we should be able to get it in. Like I said, I used to do this a lot. When you're racing these machines a lot, I'm sure you all know this, the ones that got these 4 strokes. It was a lot easier when you got 2 strokes. You didn't have to touch the engine a huge amount. You could change the gearbox oil, clutch oil, every week if you wanted to, if you wanted to be pretty anal, but careful you don't strip the threads on these things. You should do it with a torque wrench, but when you're a mechanic, you get used to these things. So that's the old filter there, look. There we go. I'll put you back on when I get to the oil. I'll just show you this. If you can see there's a little sight glass, because it's all drained out now. So I will fill through this hole until the sight glass comes up to the top, and then we'll run it, and then we'll check this again after we run it and top it up to the right level. Right, tubers, I don't know if you can see there, that oil level is just at the top of the glass there now, and when we fire this up, that will obviously move a bit and drop a bit, and we'll put it at the right level. So that's all I'm going to do for tonight. We're just going to do this properly. We're going to take the tank off. This is one of these things of this model. It's probably the same with the new ones. I haven't seen one. To get to the spark plug was a swine of a job. You used to have to take the tank off, and so quite a rigmarole. Like I said, a 2-stroke, you just reach in and do that, but this was a cracking bike, really good and loads of power. But there we are, we'll leave that for tonight and come back to it when I start taking the tank off, and we'll get the spark plug off, and we'll do the clutch oil on the far side, and all this before we start it up. Right, let's see if we can start this thing. This is the next morning now, and I tipped it on its right hand side to let the fuel run out. You saw what I did to it last night. It's very cold this morning, so we'll see if she'll start. Cross fingers. Choke is on. Why did I pull the throttle then, eh? Forgetting it's a 4-stroke. Oh, I'm generally excited. First time in fucking hell, 16 years, probably. Let's get a bit of throttle, perhaps. She's coming to life, boys. Oh, that smell. Like I said, it hasn't been running for so long. We got a fuel leak down here. Not a fuel leak. What you call leak? Coolant leak. So we'll have to have a quick look at that now in a minute and see what's going on. God almighty, this is exciting, I tell you. This is really exciting. Oh, I genuinely can't tell you how excited I am about this. I pulled my helmet out. It's been hanging on my motorbike's handlebars. And there's been a rat's nest in it. It's ate the inside out of it. And my motocross trousers. So, this is to be continued. The next vid you'll probably see my first ride, maybe a trail ride or even on a motocross track with my mate. So